Seems like Mechwarrior Online is deciding that this game is too spicy to be streamed and casted. There might be a chance I crash, but don't worry. My streamer talent and luck has persevered, and we have pressed through that terrifying lockup screen. You know, this is all very much esports ready to go. So here we go. Presenting Polar Highlands Conquest. The three cap points in question are going to be Theta, center of the map, Kappa to the south, Gamma to the north. Gamma offers an interesting sniper ridge. Kappa offers a slightly another sniper ridge, but not as great as the Kappa hold. We've seen teams do a lot of different things on here. Now, team one or drop one can typically become just a pure brawl versus brawl, where you have close range mechs trying to clash with close range mechs. We've seen some teams try to make use of pop targeting and skirmishing mechs. A few teams bringing assault mechs in this one, but that's a great thing about a lot of Mechwarrior Online. There's so many mechs, there's so many options, and even without the cumbersome clan tech involved, IS mechs will have still plenty to bring to the table. All right, we'll go ahead and check out Team 2 as they come in. Looks like we get to see everything right off the bat. I love this game so much. All right, good vibes, good feelings from everybody. Let's go ahead and lock into someone's mech just so we can get out of it quickly. There we go. Let's see what they bring to the table. So at Aces Wild, we have Not Bob and Crusader 16, Legend of Kelda, Crusader 16. We have Rivaste in the Osiris 1V, Kodakabs in the Osiris 1V, and then Osiris 1P coming in Kajiro, and the UrbanMechs Street Cleaner coming in. Hero mechs are allowed. You're even allowed to use 2 on a drop if you like. Cyrus is bringing small lasers, SRM4s. We'll see what the 1P is bringing. 2 SRM2s for urban machine guns and 2 small explosives. Urban Mech, you gotta go quick, but this is gonna be very fast. I'm assuming it's all be brawl. We got a pop tart with a 3 light PPC, 2 max shot. Crusader 16s coming in. Nice camo stream. Kelda, 12 small pulse, pure brawl. Not pop, always beautiful as usual. 14 small pulses. We didn't catch the other service, but I'm assuming it's another close range trader. We have to focus on what Team 2 is bringing. So out of Baguettes, we're getting an Urban Mech R. This is one of the mechs that is now legal to play in this. 5 smalls, 4 medium pulses. Another Urban Mech R. 6 smalls, 3 medium pulses. Hunchback 4SP, what a beautiful mech, and Paul showing it justice with that look. Bringing the 5 small pulse, 2 SRM6 Artemis. Mr. T doing the exact same thing, but they're Hunchback. And then we have the last one, a Hunchback 4, the Laser Bomb at Hunchback. 1 large, 8 Euro medium. So, lots of brawl, a little bit of range. Both these teams having one mech that's kind of dedicated to skirmish, while the rest of the team is dedicated to brawl. It looks like Aces Wild, claiming Theta, great UAV usage coming out, is calling the push. Kodiab's going in with their Osiris, looking to bring him to the left, but the Baguettes are not fooled as they take the engagement full on the front. Urban Mech's putting out some great shots. We have a Picket drawing a lot down, but not without the Crusader getting legged in the process. Seems a lot of leg focus coming out of these teams. That Crusader is ready to pop. And there it goes with a nice spattering of mechs fighting the low ground and the high ground. Hunchback 4SP duking off against the Crusader C. Kelda and Arak at each other. We have the huge destruction pit happening right here. 3 mechs, 4 mechs down already, or 3 mechs down, now 4 mechs down due to its self-destruction. Legend of Kelda being cleaned up the Hunchback 4SP. Bug Boy still fighting it out, taking out Mr. T. It is now a 4v3 situation with the Baguettes a little bit lower, but evening it out with that 3v3. Looks like it's Urban Mech Supreme running array. We have arms and torsos getting taken off. Noli's still alive, barely, but with 4 medium pulses. Now it is a 2v2 situation. It does look like French, the Baguettes are a little bit lower as far as their armor goes, but they are more of a 2v1 situation than Aces Wild. Rivaste dropping down to 53% already legged in that exchange. Does get taken out by Paul. Paul still taking with all the armor they can. Doesn't have full use of the weapons. And self-destruction coming out Budweiser, leading to an excellent, crazy brawl. I mean, you love to see it. Just the beautiful destruction that we see before us. Mechwarrior Online. This is why we do it. Just to see beautiful mechs laying on the ground. I mean, it was a good fight. The Urban Mechs were definitely an interesting pick, but the Urban Mechs armor definitely persevered. We saw a lot of damages coming out of these mechs. I mean, Naoli's still at 5 smalls and 4 medium pulses, but if you remember right, the other Urban Mech, whichever they disappeared to, is... Oh, they're over by Kappa. They were down to just small pulses, but 48% nonetheless, sir. So, close fight. Aces Wild having the aggression, and the fight was pretty much in their favor, but they did have one of the Crusaders fighting a Hunchback 4P, decent trade-off, but the rest of the team was actively engaged. I mean, the Baguettes were actively engaged in the same focused call targets, while I think Aces Wild just having that one mech off might have made the difference. No shade towards Kelda. I mean, taking a Hunchback 4P and not allowing it to survive and get damage out is important. But Hunchback 4SPs have a surprising amount of armor, so not as easy to take down. Not Bob being the clear first call target from the Baguettes, which if they're going to call any target, why not target the shot caller? So, good first fight. Exactly what I kind of expected. Brawl meets brawl. Chaos ensues, and BattleMechs runs supreme. Just like any first match should go. 488 damage coming at Cyrus on the Rivaste and the Cyrus 1V. Very good damage. Pretty even damage across the Baguettes with Paul and the Urban Mech, the one that lasts alive. 318 damage. Very good fight. And moving on. Alright, moving on to the second drop. Like I said, Robot RGB, I think it's their abbreviation, has already claimed themselves a win for their team. Let's see if they can continue that win streak. I would personally am always a big fan of back and forth, so I would love to see Aces want to come ahead with just 1 point, just to make the rest of the set a little more spicy, a little more emotional. But we'll take what we can get. Aces of Wild, a famous unit, a unit that's even sponsored the ISC tournament, not Bob being one of the admins. So you would say they have a little bias to the tournament season, but with that said, I've never seen a more well-balanced and well-organized tournament other than this one. I mean, there's been a lot of good tournaments, don't get me wrong, but ISC being the start for 2D20 has a special place in our heart. So easy shout out to the admins to MW Comp, and a special shout out to Not Bob. May all the talkers you enjoy be as delicious as you make them seem. Might not make sense to y'all, but if you talk to Not Bob long enough, you'll get it. All right, Costa Valley. Like I said, we have the Theta Cap, Kappa Cap, and the Gamma Cap all along the way. You can push through the Theta side, but it usually is a little differential. It is usually a little dangerous to do so, especially if teams are running some kind of range gambit. Oh, looks like we're hanging out with the dropships. The Sphere, keeping everything safe. Alright, here we go. We're in. Alright, let's see what these teams bring for us. We got ourselves some Aces Wild, an Uziel 6P and by Kodiaks, running a 4 light PPC, a limited skirmish, Vulcan 5S, that's the mask, with 2 Sepnos and 3 Max Shot by Budweiser. We have ourselves a Blackhawk. Finally, we get to see a Blackhawk 2 UAC 5. We have the Legend of Kelda in the Bull Shark 1, excuse me, with a 5 small laces, 4 UAC 5s. Zul the Bird in a Bull Shark 1 with 4 UAC 5s, 3 light PPCs, and Not Bob in glorious decal and beauty as always. 2 UAC 5. So definitely a little more DACA focused. Now coming out of the RGB, we have ourselves a Mr. T in the Stalker, Azarak, and the Catapult Sleipnir. Oh, I said Catapult, I meant to say Cyclops. We have B-Roll and that 6 heavy machine gun, 2 small exposed javelin.
Resource point Theta is ours.
We have a Hotmoto 27W. This could be another DACA mech. Beautiful camp schemes. Gotta love that. Running the 3 AC5 2 light PVC. Another javelin going over by. Running the 6 heavy machine and 2 small exposed. Sleipnir, my favorite, 4 AC5, 2 light PPC. Stalker 17 by Walkerny, 6 ER medium, 2 rocket launcher. I know some fans love that. 2 binary cannons, and then Mr. T in the Stalker, also rocking the 2 rocket launchers, also rocking a beautiful paint scheme. 6 ER mediums, 2 binary cannons. So let's see what these kind of do. Let's see if I can reset my camera. There we go. It is now reset. So both teams going for kind of a DACA push. We have it with RGB. They have a little bit of laser vomit backup, while Not Bob's team, Aces Wild, has gone for a lot more DACA, with like light PPC skirmishes as support. Looks like they are taking the fight over the 3 line. You can look at the mini-map and see that indeed they're all trying to position to where they can get shots out. It's just going to come down to who Pop-Tarts well. Now, RGB has javelins, which are not there for the Pop-Tart, but are there for sowing chaos and mess. Good UAV usage coming up RGB, 1 over Theta and 1 over the actual fight that's about to go down. And they're already trying to take some skirmishes now. Again, those heavy machine guns need a little more face time than they might want in this engagement. We do see a pullback call being called out from Aces Wild as they know that the push is about to happen. Legend of Kelda, though, not able to make that change. And you can see the fire line being brought to by RGB. Legend of Kelda dropping to 59%, 54%, 52%. Needs to pull it out of the cover. Zula Burnator trying their best to take up the initial fight. Javelin B-Roll now doing what the javelins are brought here is to go in and finish up the mech. However, Epicate does be the first mech down. The Hotamato going down in that exchange, followed quickly by Keldo, who was the call target by RGB. Aces Wild, though, not going down without a fight. Zilda Bird is the second call by RGB, seeing if they can take him out, dropping down to 30%, 35%, dead from that fight. Javelin's doing a good job sowing chaos. The Uzio trying to get some nice back shots on the Stalker, but there's still the 2 Blackhawks with the UAC 5s and the two Vulcan, the Vulcan and the Zulu 6P trying to defend against the Javelin onslaught that's happening, sowing chaos. Now the Stalker is dropped down to 40% in this exchange, ready to pop. Right torso nearly one touch. The Zeo by Kodiaks is trying to get the pick, trying to secure the kill, just to remove a little bit of that fire off the field. Rivaste going in, not Bob, being able to kill one of the Javelins, having it slide down the hill in glorious fashion. Both Blackhawks still relatively okay. They're probably a little beat up at this point, but their cold target is indeed Valkyrie in that Stalker. CT is now weak. CT is now super weak. Will they be able to get the kill? Who's going to get the kill? Bet it's going to be Rivaste, and sure enough, it is. All that's left is Python, Python, and the Javelin, trying to do their best to stroll around to do the damage. Let's check on these Blackhawks to see how beaten up they are. Oh, going for a leg. A little bit of overheat by the Blackhawk. The other one also legs, so it looked like the Blackhawks were going for legs, which is interesting distinction. And at least the Javelins died together, as they always should. And beauty. And there we go. Aces Wild. Focusing on more of a receive strat, they were unfortunately in a position where they were down a little bit, where their BattleMech Legend of Kelda was a bit punished for the positioning. Not because it was bad position. The call was made to pull back, but Bull Sharks, they're slow. They try their best. So not crazy numbers out of the Bull Sharks, but the Blackhawks definitely shining a little bit. 856 damage out of Rivaste, 3 kills to the name. I mean, and again, RGB did a fantastic job. Those Stalkers being the last one's life, 482 damage. Javelin, 406 damage out of Python. So that's pretty sweet, pretty solid. So well done, well fought. Division D definitely showing that they want this fight, bring in very interesting mechs and very interesting mindsets to this gameplay, and it's working for them. I mean, it makes the fights a little more excitable when both teams are having the roughly the same idea. It's the only dynamic that was there was the Javelins were there to get in close, while the Vulcans were happy to kind of get the range. So it did kind of encourage RGB to make that push. And again, initially that push was fantastic for them. Those two Bull Sharks once again went down pretty quick. But it was interesting to see that kind of dynamic where the Javelins were not able to engage. But when they were able to engage, they got stuck in, which is the best thing you could do for those kind of Javelins and that kind of kit that was assigned to them. You have to use those close range weapons to sow chaos amongst the enemy ranks. So let's see if they kind of match it again. If they go for more of a skirmishy playstyle with their Wolfpack, or maybe they change it up entirely. Wasn't a huge focus on caps. There was a little bit of a contest over Theta, which is usually what you expect. Theta gives you a lot of info, and so going over Theta just to see if you can take a cap or see if you can get a decent fight is worth just kind of getting a measure. You don't necessarily always want to take the skill check and lose the light mech early, but the map, even though it feels like it's a big map, it's surprisingly small. You can get to a lot of positions as long as you don't let the cap game get away from you. All right, so we're still observing Aces Wall from this start now. Team 2 side. We have quite the drop before us. So we have Rivaste bringing their own Javelin with a very similar build, 6-7 machine guns. We have a 3 large exposed Thunderbolt on Zul the Burtnius mech. We have Kiro bringing the Blackhawk as well, the last one they have available for the set with the 2 ER5s. We have a Budweiser with the 3 large exposed, 3 medium exposed, beautiful camo job. Not Bob raising the good bolt-ons with 4 large exposed. Not Bob, I knew I always loved you. Legend of Kelda with 4 large exposed. So very hot builds, a lot of FaceTime focus. Let's see what RGB is going to bring and see if that is going to be enough to counter it. FaceTime can be scary, but it can be really good if you can get away with it. We have the fire starter with the 8 small pulses. We have a health spawn down here, 3 small pulses, 4 SRM6s. So definitely more of a brawl focused Wolfpack yet again. We have a charger themselves going for more laser bomb and 4 ERMs, 2 binary cannons. Marauder AL with a DACA build, 2-Act 5, 2-Act 10. We have a Bull Shark 6 coming in. Now a 5 light ISC 5s and 2 light PPCs. And another health spawn, 3 small pulls, 4 SRM6s. So it's 3 and 3 split. 3 brawl, 3 DACA with laser bomb support coming out of RGB. And again, Aces Wild going for primarily FaceTime X-Pulse builds with a or a DACA mech being the Blackhawk to support the bow. So let's see how this works out. I mean, it's a very scary drop. I mean, they have 1 Javelin to defend them if the brawl push comes in, and that RGB is already thinking about that kind of situation. If the call is made, they want to be set up to hit that side flank as hard as they can. Looks like Kelda and a couple of the team is aware of that. They know that they kind of have them stuck in that position. So they're already using their X-Pulses, already trying to get some damage to stop the brawl push. B-roll, now realizing the situation they're in. So they don't want to be in that. UAV is coming out from Aces Wall to make sure they don't get caught. But still, they get caught nonetheless as Mr. T does make their first initial push. And the push has needed to come in. Looks like Aces Wall reacting swiftly is now focusing on the big tonnage. It will now require, RGB to send their Wolfpack into the side flank. And looks like they are doing. Legend of Kelda does get a kill, but not quickly followed by FK, getting the not Bob kill. We have 2 mechs down for, or 1 mech down for each team. Percentile seems to be leaning against Ace's Walls. Epicet does get another kill. Legend of Kelda being picked up by Epicet is again. Curio sub to try to, because this map is ridiculously hot, even for 2 UX5s. Epicet being the one that's getting all the kills with that Daka Marauder is finally taken down, not due to the enemy team, but self-destruction. We have Zolda Birdnator using those X-Pulses, trying to get value with the Brawl, pushing in, overheat coming in from Zolda Birdnator as he's surrounded by all sides, does get taken down. We have a sex extraction out of Bald, and it is a 3v2 situation. A Javelin and Charger coming out of Ace's Wall. Charger trying to do what it can against the Bull Shark 6. Bull Shark 6 also powered down. Again, hot map. Rivaste cleaning it up against B-Roll. So now it is a 2v2 situation. We have a Fire Starter A, small pulse build against a Javelin. It's also running close range weapons. We have this Charger legged, and so it wants to get the fire on it, but it cannot see it. We have big overheating damage coming from the Bull Shark 6. So it's kind of come down to... I don't know. It feels a little bit like a toss-up. I think that we still have a RGB win con with Daka versus X-Pulse, but with how overheated that Bull Shark is, it's not super easily given. Rivaste getting picked up. RGB being able to secure that kill. 8 small pulses is difficult, or is a easier damage put on than medium X-Pulse. Like, it's easy burst, and that can make it very difficult with these jump shitty mechs. Firestarter now looking for that back shot, trying to see if he can get behind the Charger. The Charger, Budweiser doing what they can, see if they can pull off the Bull Shark 6, but that Daka is still Daka, and boy does it hurt. Very good fight, pretty close to a certain extent. I like the position coming of RGB, make sure that their Wolfpack, while they tried to engage early, was resistant, did still shoulder down, or put down their shoulders and just charged in when the fight was ensuing, making sure that they were there when their team engaged, and that was important. The timing was important. And Rivaste did a great job staying alive to the very end. 597 damage, trying to resist those 3 BattleMechs to do what they could against that kind of push. But 600 damage out of Azark, great damage out of the Bull Shark, just was too much to handle. Moving on. All right, as we come to the Tourmaline Desert, the cap points in question are Sigma, Theta, and Gamma. This map, unlike the other ones, is a lot more widespread, and it's very interesting for this map because of the fact that it is the map that has only potentially 1 to 2 Wolfpack mechs. Bringing 3 really hampers and hurts your big tonnage drop or aspect of your deck. So a lot of teams are opting for 1 to 2. Let's see if that trait carries through into this match. It's, you know, it's just because it maybe is the most commonly seen doesn't mean it's the most consistent. Like, people can do whatever they want in these drops. So I'm excited to see it. So we're going to start off with the RGB Robot Engrosses Baguettes. We have Epicet and the Annihilator 1P, typically a ER laser build. Nauli in the Annihilator 2A. Bithkick and the Osiris 1P. Arzak and the Highlander Heavy Metal. Paul in the Annihilator 2A. And Valkyrie in the Osiris. Once again, 1 light mech for this fight. Looking for a little bit of a brawl scrap. We have the Paul in the 5 AC5 2 light PPCs. Nauli is running the 5 AC5s 2 light PPCs. And then once again, the 1P by Epicet, 5 ERH lasers. And Heavy Metal's an interesting choice. We don't get to see this hero mech too often. It's running 2 heavy PPC and a Silver Bullet Goss. Love the mech, love the decals. Very quickly, because it seems like the other drop is going for more of a traditional range drop, so we'll have time to get set up for this one. As I'm seeing 3 Stalker 5S's from Legend of Kelda, Budweiser, and Zolda Birdnator. We do see the Phoenix Hawk, 2 Phoenix Hawks coming out for Aces Wild. 4 small light, 3 light PPCs for Kiro. We have another Phoenix Hawk, which looks to go in for Sigma, probably run the same build given the 7S. And then lastly, we have Not Bob and the Banshee looking beautiful. And the 3-yard laser Gauss rifle. I'm not trying to glaze too much, but I decorate my mechs in a very similar fashion as Not Bob, so I have to give him love when I see it. We do see the cap coming out of Theta for Aces Wild. So they are potentially going to be looking at a early start hold with Theta Sigma, and then see how the long-range trade could go. Now, interesting enough, there's not a lot of long-range traders coming out of RGB. They have themselves the long-range trader of the Annihilator 1P, and they seem to be somewhat content just to kind of sit back and wait to see what the Aces Wallet does. We have that Highlander Heavy Metal in a very interesting spot, taking up a high ground position over here in what would be almost the Delta 5 region, giving them a great overwatch and great info for what the battlefield looks like. But again, since RGB only has 1 light mech, they have to be very thoughtful in their positioning. I mean, their Valkyrie has already dropped to 90% damage in this fight. A lot of it just smattering, mostly the right arm. Let's confirm these stalkers. I would assume that they're blue lasers, but we could be wrong. Let's double check. Indeed, 6 blue lasers, 5 6 blue lasers, and they seem to be taking a very interesting route. We're going Gamma 5, not the normal sniper routes. I mean, the Banshee is in the Gamma 6 routes, taking some trades. Now, the Banshee in general, the Lamanenche, has some crazy long-range nodes, and so it's able to train optimally with damage. Now, here's the part that RGB does indeed want. So, sure enough, they're being aggressed by multiple Stalkers, but what they have in their pocket is a bunch of Annihilators with a lot of DACA. So, the Phoenix Hawks are going to be a big of an issue. We do see that Phoenix Hawks are already utilizing their mobility, staying on the sides. We have Kilroy coming up to the other side, so we can catch him in the concave. Stalkers being the core of this, but the Stalkers do not have clear line of sights on some of the Annihilators. They do still see Paul, who's dropping down to 34%, that are to a fairly beaten up, lost all their AC5s, only on light PPC, but because they allowed themselves to be soaked up that much, or not allowed, but because they took the noble baton of I will take damage so you can move forward. So now he's able to get in. Legend of Kelda now dropping to 66%. Very quickly, that mech is being deteriorated by the Donka from Naoli and the Earl's Laser from Epic. We do see that the heavy Highlander is trying to get in. Naoli is able to get the kill on Legend of Kelda. Legend of Kelda falls into the pit, sliding to their doom. We do see Budweiser trying to get in. Valkyrie also getting a kill on the Phoenix Hawk to the right. Very well fought. The Osiris actually being able to clean up that light mech, or the medium mech of the Phoenix Hawk. The rest of these Stalkers are indeed being pushed. Again, they put a lot of damage out, but now the Osiris 1P is in a situation it kind of wants to be. Being able to skirmish with blue laser mechs while they are trying to resist, trying to pull out. Bloodvisor dropping down to 66%. Left torso is open. CT still available. 3 Igniters taking a beating, but still being impressive as always as they push forth. I mean, it's a sight to see, I have to say. Now, Valkyrie, even though they do have the cap... Oh, that's right, there was 2 Osirises. I, for a moment, was thinking that there was only 1. So those 2 Osirises are doing a great job. If it was just 1, I was very hard-pressed to see them kind of pull this off, because I was worried they weren't going to get enough brutality. We must have just missed that Osiris in the very beginning. So all that's left out of Ace's Wall is not Bob, doing what they can to put the shots out, seeing if they can at least somewhat secure this, but now we're in a situation where the Banshee doesn't get to utilize its long range as much, and it's dealing with a pop-turning Islander, which is probably only slightly annoying. Oh, it's a nice little duel, though. Who's going to clutch it up? Oh, taking the time with Azarok. Was almost losing the left torso in exchange because they wanted to line up that shot, but managed to get the side torso off. Was this... Oh, CT? No. CT not Bob out. And honestly, good fight. Look how beat up these Annihilators are. I mean, Paul, for alone, staying alive towards the end. We had Naoli running out of all their AC5s in that exchange as well. They had another Annihilator, Epic, running at 3 large lasers. So they were pretty beat up. It's a shame on me for not noticing the other caps, but... Oh, interesting enough, we do see an FC cap. Was that early on? Did we miss that?
We've captured resource point Sigma.
That's interesting that Epsilon was picked. I would have to check the VOD again. I wonder when FC was capped, because that might have been made some of the positions that Ace's Wild did. I mean, it seemed like the Ace's Wild position was, I would say, pretty normal. But I'm curious about that FC. Yeah, no, that was an interesting one. So FC cap must have been accidentally capped. Didn't even notice that one until the very end of the match. Well, anyways, 680 damage coming Arzark and the Highlander Heavy Metal doing great damage for not being in a lot of that fight. So impressive. 857 damage out of the Not Bombs. Banshee, Lamanenche. Does that mech do work? Moving on. It's been a good show. I think myself and the viewers can easily say that both these teams are putting on quite the fight for us, which is something I always enjoy. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the casting. Just so you know, I do casting for free whenever you'd like it, as long as you hit me up as soon as you can. Because I usually have a lot of people who are interested in me casting. And this is the commentary I like to do, shoutcasting style, where it's a lot of information all at the same time. But it's with the idea that I want to capture as much excitement and as much powers and ability that these teams can give us. So, I don't want command. Oh. I swear, Mechwarrior Online, such a mess. Alright, we'll ride this mech in. We're looking at the Rivaste and the Corsair 7A. We're in their back pocket for right now until we can get into the situation. There we go. So we got ourselves out of Ace's Wild, Corsair 7A, Bull Shark 5, Corsair 7A, Banshee Labanenchi coming in a Flea 19, and a Phoenix Hawks 7. So Banshee once again, blue lasers and Gauss. We have the Corsair 7A, probably missing very similar. Yep, sure enough, 3 large lasers and 2 Gauss. Kiroi, beautiful Bull Shark, 4 large laser, 2 Gauss. We have the Flea 19, probably running the standard mag shot build, and look at that, can you believe it? And lastly, once again, the Phoenix Hawk 7S running looks like small pulses entirely, no pop-target mechanics to speak of. And then coming out of RGB, bring it in. A Bull Shark 6 by Nanoli, Azark, and the Marauder 4A. This feels like a DACA. Bull Shark 6 running 5 AC5s, 2 light PPCs. Paul and the other Bull Shark 6. Great camo schemes, everybody. 5 AC5s, 2 light PPCs. Epic it. And the 5-year medium, 3 binary camo, Marauder, Buccaneer camo, the best camo in the game. No one can tell me otherwise. Azark bringing the 5-year medium, 3 binary cannon. And not to be forgotten this time, we do see ourselves a Javelin, 6 heavy machine guns, 2 small explosives, and an Osiris 1P. Osiris going for a little scouting, rock climbing joyride. Trying to see if they can find the enemy team. Great UAV usage is coming out of these teams as they're trying to see if they can scout out the presence of RGB. And I believe with those 2 UAVs coming out of Aces Wild, that is something that they do indeed achieve. Both UAVs still in position. So they will get the scouting info of these BattleMechs. The Wolfpack that is Aces Wild, Fleet 19, and Phoenix Hawk are going to go for Gamma Cap. They already have Theta. And we have a long-range receive position set up with a Echo 3 spot for the Banshee, utilizing the range, already getting some damage and shots on the momentum DACA push that we see before us with laser bomb support. Bull Shark 5 trying to find a spot that works with it. Corsair 7A doing the same thing. And then the Legend of Kelda and their Corsair 7A meant to be a Theta deny or Delta 5 peak is going to be maintained in position, forcing the enemy team to pick either this poor Corsair or the rest of Aces Wall to push into. So it's going to be up to RGB. I mean, they have the 2 cappers, so they could indeed try to get into a situation where they can contest the cap points. Like, it's a fairly even exchange. A Fleet 19 Phoenix Hawk versus a Javelin and a Cyrus. I would usually give it up to probably the Fleet and Phoenix Hawk out of Aces Wild. Just because the Fleet 19 max shot is still pretty good. But regardless of the situation, we do see Wolfpacks moving across the field. We do see the DACA push, laser bomb, and mid-range push coming out of RGB as they try to contest the Corsair 7A. Epic dropping down to 84%, and then we have the Corsair 7A by Kelda only at 96%. It's definitely, and it's optional, taking some pretty tasty trades while not receiving too much because it's very hard to get that focus fire on there. So right now, Corsair's in a position it wants to be. Now notice that the Wolfpack of Aces Wild is in the rear. Looks like, not to be confused though, RGB knows that they're there and definitely putting shots to make sure that they don't get a little too brave and aggressive. Now, Epic has dropped to 84%. Paul is definitely at 79%. Taking some unfortunate back shots from the max shot fleet. Not crazy damage, but still damage. Annoying, to say the less. We do see... Ooh, I like this push. So, coming out of RGB, they know that this push needs to happen. So, they're sending their light mechs in now. Now, Aces Wild light mechs seem to be trying to do the same thing. But these mechs are definitely going to secure a lot of time out of these Corsairs as they need to get these mechs, and they even pick up a kill. Yes, they get legged in the process. Both mechs get legged in the process, but they're still in the fight. Will slowly be taken out. Now, the DACA team is still trying to push up, but again, Bull Sharks are slow. Marauders are slow. They still have a Wolfpack to contend with that's going to harass in their backline. So let's see if the Javelins and the Osiris did do enough in order to get this push in. Not Bob is down to 59%. CT is indeed open. Bull Shark 5 is legged as well, so will not be going anywhere. Epic down to 65%. Great laser fire, great focus fire. Epic does indeed go down. Zulu Burninator go to the front. Flea is still staying in the back, still being an annoying little Flea, best of the shots. And Kelda not receiving with the team, instead staying in that position, forcing the concave, forcing the crossfire to happen. So it forces the BattleMechs to make a decision. Do they deal with the Flea in the back? Do they deal with the Corsair to the side? Do they push it to the big tonnage with the Phoenix Hawk guarding? Or do they just sit there taking shots? Now, big shots to Azark, taking up the Fleet 19, deciding that's the one I want to take care of because, my golly, I hate it. And, you know, understand me. So, Paul going in, wanting that Banshee, but not Bob saying, nope, I get this kill this time. Alright, Azark's the last one. Laser bomb cooking, putting out the fire, using the beautiful torso, or the armor flexing that is the Marauder. Phoenix Hawk going for the kill. Will they be able to at least get something out of it? Oh, Azark doing their best they can, losing all the side torsos and the CTs at the same time. Good fight. Aces Wild clutching up the final match for themselves. So they end this series with a 3-2 going towards RGB with the winning of the set. That was great. That was a really good fight. Woo! Kelda showing that position. That was, of course, it was in Delta 5 taking the initial shots, getting 1,084 damage. Something you don't always want to see in a 6v6 format, but given the situation and given how slow those Doggo mechs, that feels appropriate, and I respect the damage. So overall, pretty good fight. And then we have good damage out of RGB. Bullshark 614 damage. So again, pretty solid numbers. But there we go. That's it, everybody. We finally have ourselves yet another cast, another match. Big shout out to the teams as well. They were making this very quick and very easy for all of us so that we got more and more into the action as the matches went by. But yeah, sure enough, Ace Swallowed managed to claw their way back in with the win. With, I mean, most of those matches being considerably close. It was really nice to see these teams come out. I would love to see how they do for the rest of the division. I mean, as it goes, we've now casted 4 of the teams out of Division D. So maybe we'll see more of as it goes along. But easy shout out to Robots and Gross's Baguettes. Sorry if I said the name wrong, but that was really exciting to see. Ace as well, you know I love you. I know I appreciate you. I'm always excited to cast your games, and I appreciate you letting me be a part of this community. But yeah. All right, everybody, that's it for me. I will be having my own match in about 4 hours from now. So you will be seeing it from my perspective, a 15-minute delay. So if you're interested in that, you're curious to see what we do, at least for Savage Crew Division C, definitely come on by and check it out. I will make a post, so if you haven't followed, I would recommend following now, so you can check that out later. I can promise you it would be a lot of good mech on mech action. I'm going to end it with the 2D20's Savage Crew made trailer that my team has put together in order to just, you know, show how much we love this game and how excited we are. So if this is something you can get hyped up about, maybe you can appreciate it. The quality is immaculate for 2D20, so no shade there. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you supporting. And if you're interested in Mechwarrior Online, if you're interested in the championship, check it out. There's a lot of stuff that's tournaments throughout the season. There's even an interesting Urban Mech tournament that's going to be coming up. But this is the start of ISC, an Instant Coalition, and I'm ready for it. All right, y'all. I'm going to let you head on out. Here's the video. Thank you for watching. And until next time. Later.
On the blackjack.
Black Knight CT.
Hunchback pushing center.
I'm on the bull shark. I need help.
Delta, Marauder.
Taking fire from the stalker on the ramp.
Switching back to Delta. Delta's back in cover.
Trying to headshot.
Guys, I'm under a ton of fire here.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get there. Jeez, 2 minutes.
I'm overheating. My mech's gonna cook.
I totally hit that thing.
Please push up.
Alright,
Got
UAV
me
up.
and Mike to your left.
Wait, coming.
Damage.
PT open soccer.
Surprise!
UAV down.
Oh, there's
On the Marauder.
Got a UAV above you stuff.
side torso open on the Vindicator.
Strikes out on the Marauder.
Right corner target.
Wow,
Yep.
full pound or the Vindy. There you go.
Down.
Some Delta, Marauder.
Is the Black Knight down?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I think it's just the Vindicator.
On the...
You're mine.
Ooh.
Is
Side
this
torso
pod
off.
racing?
Here, I'll walk in front and protect you. I got you. I'll save you. Ah, he's still on kill.
Jeff is down.
We're up
Go
on the hill.
visual left.
Hey,
Visual
Daggerback,
left.
second 3.
Visual left.
Hey, Commandos, we're gonna push in.
Alpha.
Explode them.
He's got 2 commandos running around him.
Leg.
Leg, next one.
Leg.
Delta.
Going for the foxtrot. Hiding behind.
Gotta get in there. Come on.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to get up there.
There we go.
The Mauler.
Go to the lights.
Hey, trying to
Got
score the
overrides.
Mauler.
Randall's coming after me.
Got a foxtrot right behind us, running around, causing some issues.
Keep trying to score them.
Commando, both torsos open. The
Epsilon chargers here. Would like
Jeff's down.
Still on the Mauler. Who's left?
left leg, left
right
leg.
leg, right leg now.
Right leg.
Watch your heat.
Working on the last charger.
Alpha.
Go for last charger.
Down.
Oh, the commando's still here. Get it.
You'll never take me alive.
Legs on Foxtrot. Good kill.
Alright guys, take Theta.
It's
Seems
quiet.
a little quiet.
Ambush to our left. On Alpha.
Docker, we need Overwatch now.
Overwatch hurt.
They're all over us.
Side torso alpha.
Yep.
I just lost an arm. Where the hell is that scrap heap?
Already on the trash can. I'm behind Corsair.
What? There's something on me.
Corsairs about to be gone. Bit of salt, Mech. Too slow to do anything.
I'm down.
I'm good. Alright, where are the other ones?
Moving on Theta. I've got no visual.
Something has fallen into our trap.
We got him. Let's go.
Destroy it.
See Alpha coming back up with Firestarter.
Retreat back to
There's
Echo
enemies
5.
here. I need help.
He's
Starter.
alone.
Retreat back to Echo 5, please.
Alright.
This little flea won't get away from us.
Sweet, hard left.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh. Minions, destroy them.
Going for it.
Push their legs.
Right leg.
One left, Osiris.
You fool. Worthless help these days.
Four House Steiner.
You're hot in here.
Pushing up top.
Oh crap, they're up
Left
here.
Side primary.
On Charlie, Archer.
What's in Alpha?
Change shark. Bull shark is right on top of us.
It's switching Bull Shark.
Back to Alpha.
Bravo Bull Shark.
Ah!
Sweet!
There we go.
You're hot in here.
That was good. That was perfect. All right, and that's a wrap. We did it. Yay!
Yeah, you died